by all means, awareness is important. Being off your phone when you're in public is probably the number one thing that we try to teach people.
Let's repeat that.
Being off your phone in public. Your phone should not be in your hand while you're in a parking lot or while you're going to meet a client.
The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us once again right here on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. As we always go forth to inform, entertain, even inspire. You might be out there driving around like many others right here in Houston at the time of broadcast. So relax. We have a super show for you as always. We're going to have a bit of a variety. Of course, we're going to talk about real estate, money, and even today, a special holiday bonus, self-defense. That's right, self-defense for real estate professionals and everybody else. So let's get down to business as we start talking about money with Pam Eastwold with Cornerstone Home Lending right here in Houston, Texas. Pam, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, and here you are right here in Houston. You've been in the profession for quite a while, helping people all the time, and you have a team approach. In fact, it's called the Pam Eastwold team, right?
Or that is
Eastwold
correct,
team.
the Eastwold team.
So let's tell people about your company.
Well, I work for Cornerstone Home Lending. We have dropped the ink because Cornerstone Home Lending bought a bank.
How about that?
That's a pretty amazing thing to say, isn't it?
Is that recent? This
it happened October 1st. It was official. We bought Roscoe State Bank.
So that's tremendous.
It is, but why would that be tremendous for you?
I don't know.
Me either.
I bet
no,
you're
yes,
gonna
I
tell
do. Yeah, I am going to
we
tell
kinda
you.
led into
yeah,
that.
we did. So what that means for you is that we now have portfolio programs. So you should be ready for coming in the near future. We're going to have a CRA program. We're going to have an I-10 program. And just by the virtue of being a bank, we're going to be able to offer some incredible new things.
So then the opportunities for lending have broadened. Is that another way to put that?
That is another way to put it.
I'm
You're amazing.
Man, I'll tell you what, don't give me too much credit. I just got lucky on that one, Pam. But, well, that sounds great. So here I am. I want to borrow money. Mm-hmm. So now by going to your team,
Mm-hmm.
Eastwold
team at Cornerstone,
you have more resources to help people, right?
We do. We have our setup person, we have a production associate, we have me, we have the underwriter, we have our processor, all of us with many years of experience. In fact, our tagline is, for generations, our family has been here to assist yours, because we're a 3-generation loan officer family.
Wow.
So we have a little bit of experience. And I've been doing it a couple years, a little bit longer than Cornerstone, who's been around for 35 years.
So maybe 36 years
Maybe
even.
36 years. I was a child prodigy like Albert.
There you go. Well, one of the things, especially having extra resources in these times, I think that's even more important.
It is more important because we can give you the personal assistance that you need to get to the table quicker. Cornerstone offers a 10-day closing today. Again, we pioneered it before the pandemic. It went away. It's back. And then we have the 15-minute closing. So for you agents who are trying to make your final deal happen in time to up that level of your production, Cornerstone's here to help.
15-minute closing.
15-minute closing.
I've driven by places that say 10-minute oil change.
I know, 15-minute closings. Can you imagine?
That's very impressive.
Yeah, that's why title companies like Stewart like to close with us.
That sounds awesome. So one of the many features, but one of the things, as far as the other thing, it sounds like that could be an advantage and helpful is that you have a team approach. Mm-hmm. So let's say I'm an individual buyer and I come to you and I have all these resources by using your company. Mm-hmm. Give us an idea how the team approach helps as well.
Well, you start with me. I work with you to get you pre-qualified. Once you're pre-qualified and we get under contract, I turn you over to James, who's my production associate. He finishes everything up, turns it over to the processor, who makes sure that we did it all right. And then she gives it to the underwriter, and we usually have that done in like 72 hours.
We're talking with Pam Eastwald with Cornerstone Home Lending. Also, Pam, if people are out there this time of year, to me, it's my favorite time to buy property when the weather's cooler and that kind of thing. But whenever people are going to buy, give them an idea. When should they begin to talk to a mortgage company? Let's say it's I'm going to say February 1. I'm going to really, after the holidays, I'm going to really crank up my search. When should I contact a mortgage professional?
Now.
There you go. And why?
You want to talk to a mortgage professional before you go out and shop so that you're in the right price range. You're not looking at a house too big, and then when you go to look and you find out you can't qualify, you don't like anything you see. Nor do you want to go too small. You want to do it early, and you know what you want to buy before you shop.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
So right now, we hear it all the time. Yes, interest rates have gone up. There's no doubt about that. The other thing, as you mentioned, all the resources, what came to mind is I'm also hearing where when it comes to getting financing that people are being creative. There's different kinds of loans. I don't know, the adjusted rate and these different things. Give us an idea of some of the things that have happened here since the rates have gone up and how you're helping people with maybe these, quote, creative things. I don't even know if that's the right word, but.
Well, we haven't gotten quite back to the age of creative financing, which is, I'm a child of that era, but we're getting there. The adjustable rates are back. More and more people, more and more investors are coming out with competitive product. There's somewhat of an inverse relationship between fixed rates and ARMs right now, so they're not as attractive as they used to be. But we do have them, and we do have competitive rates in those. We also offer the Community Reinvestment Act product, which is helping the lower to moderate income borrowers get into properties. They've been kind of squeezed out with the higher rates. This is helping them come back into that market. And so what we're seeing is more and more old products coming back to the table, I guess is the way I would say it.
Give us a word on the adjustable rate mortgage. Is that the right term?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How does that work if I said, okay, Pam, I want to get the lowest rate possible. I know the rates are higher, but should I get an adjustable rate mortgage?
Well, we are saying...
And the answer is it depends. I'm guessing.
Depends.
Okay.
But actually what we're saying is date the rate, marry the house, right? So you can refinance. And in that case, what you want to do is look at when the fixed rate time period is for the adjustable rates. Is it locked in for 5 years? Is it locked in for 7 years? Do you plan to stay in that house? Because if you don't think you're going to stay in the house, that locked in time period is critical for you. You may never refinance even. You may take that in an interest rate and then sell the house before you ever need to refinance it.
So let's say I go with, and a lot of people that come to Houston based on our economy and the diverseness of it, the different types of professions that people could be in, many of them are here just for a little while. Mm-hmm. Then they go back or they go somewhere else. So let's say I'm in that category where I'm going to be here 3-4 years. So, and I said, okay, Pam, I like that the idea of the 5 year.
Mm-hmm.
So how much different roughly, and as we record this broadcast, the rate may change in 5 days. But let's just say the rate now is, pick a number, 6%.
6.5.
All right,
let's
6.5.
say 6.5.
All right, so it's 6.5%. If I said we're going to go fixed rate, and then if we go adjustable, how much better would the rate be if that is the standard at this moment?
At this moment, depending on the investor, could be like 5.5.
So then we're going to save maybe 1% by going with the adjustable. Mm-hmm. Just and again, don't bank on this, everybody. We're just saying a hypothetical.
Right.
So I'm wondering, to me, then maybe it's better to go fixed. That really
we're
creates
kind
some
of
challenges.
we're a conservative market, so it depends on what you like and what you're comfortable with. But a lot of people are very nervous about saying 6.5 or 7. They just want that lower rate, and the talking heads keep saying rates are going to come down. They're trying to wait. I wouldn't wait.
I bet, and I know we could do an hour plus on the psychology of numbers, and like you said, hey, just that if people are saying 7%, 8%, all of a sudden 5%
sounds pretty good,
So
right? Yeah.
Then we've gone through this period where they've been so low. That's been in the mindset. So all of a sudden 4, 5, 6 is like, oh my goodness.
Well, a year ago we were 3.
That's correct. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing, right? And we're now saying 6 to 7% minimum on a fixed rate when we were at 3%. It's a scary thought, but we also used to be at 12.
And someone said 17% going way back.
Well, we're
That's
going
a
to
long
really
time. That's
date
going way
ourselves,
back.
but I
But-
did have people beat down my door for an 18% fixed. So,
Oh, my goodness.
right?
Well, all that said, the bottom line is in real estate, life events trigger real estate transactions. Getting married, downsize, upsize, moving. So there's always going to be real estate. So the bottom line is be attached to professionals like Pam Eastwald, that's you, and others in the real estate world so that you have trusted people to make sure that whatever the time and place is you're getting that loan, in this case, hey, you want it to be just right, tailored for you and your circumstance and your family.
You want someone who can counsel you, help you achieve your financial goals.
One of the things I would like, as far as working with you, Pam, I could tell this already. I would like to have the knowledge that you have through these many years of all the changes, not just in rates. I mean, that's one thing, they go up and down, but also the market and real estate changes as well. You have that knowledge.
That's what you want. You want somebody who can help you walk through that.
And that's you.
That's me.
So before we close this segment, Pam Eastwald, let's tell people, what else do you want them to know about your company and what you're doing?
Cornerstone's mission is on-time closings, and that we're here to help you achieve your goals and to do it in a way that we serve you. You want to do, and the Eastwald team mirrors that. You want to be with us. And
I like the fact that you're conscious of the person's time as far as having an expedient process in closing. That's I think it's very important.
We do too.
People are listening right now, Pam. They're saying, I want to reach out to Pam. How do they do so?
PamEastwald.com is my website, and my cell phone is 713-829-2777. PamEastwald.com, 713-829-2777, and my email address is peastwald@houseloan.com.
Thank you, Pam, for being with us and at short notice. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Enjoyed it.
As we continue, it's time to talk to Robert Weber. His company is called Silverback Self-Defense. It's so important to be mindful, to always have situational awareness and be ready to defend yourself wherever you are in Houston or anywhere else. Robert, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bill. Glad to be here.
Well, here we are. You know, self-defense is so important. I've been mindful of it my whole life pretty much, but especially in the last couple of years, I do certain things now that I didn't do before, just as situational awareness, and especially in the real estate community. Let's tell people about your company first off.
Sure. I'd love to. We are a mobile self-defense training company. What makes us different is we actually go to our client and do training. So individual, family, group, or corporate hand-to-hand training, firearms training, and personal protection products.
Sounds like you're covering everything.
We do.
Wow.
When it comes to self-defense, there's not a product we can't provide for you.
So, and then I also want to tell people that the way we know you is through our business development people, and that is you're doing classes for our people at Stewart Title, other title companies, I think, and in fact, even other real estate brokerages. You're in demand because realtors, we're all vulnerable, but realtors, especially by the nature of some of the things they do, open houses and meeting people and all parking and things like that.
Yeah.
You especially focus on the realtors.
We do. We have a very specific real estate safety and self-defense training program that we do for realtors to teach them how to do their job safer. Real estate agents are very targeted for especially robbery. And because a lot of times they work alone, they're very vulnerable. And a client can call up at any time and say, hey, we want you to meet us here at this house. And it could be something that's a dangerous situation. So we talk to them about how to be safe doing that. And then in worst case scenario, someone's trying to do something physically, what do you do and how do you do it and how do you be able to escape and survive?
Well, now that you mention it, yes, we could look at every profession and look at the areas of vulnerability. However, the realtor, like you said, and the other thing is the realtor, as they're going to an open house, as they're meeting someone, you know, their mind is focused on having everything prepared, and sometimes they lose that situational awareness.
Yes.
And other things.
So we talk at every one of our seminars. I tell people I want to be a rock in your shoe or a pebble in your shoe. So that way, as you're stepping into that situation, you're thinking about what to do to be safe and to get home safe. Besides the hospital market, the nurses, doctors, real estate is one of the most dangerous industries to be in. or to be with a client or to meet a client and put themselves in a vulnerable situation. We try to stop them from being able to do that.
Another profession that comes to mind, because a friend of mine who is a server at a restaurant, leaving the health club 8:30 at night, wasn't looking. Maybe, I don't know if she was looking at her phone, but bottom line, next thing you know, 2 guys show a gun. We want your car.
Yes.
This just happened. And she goes, take the car.
Exactly.
Fortunately, she was okay, but that happens all the time.
Well, and that's what we tell people. Nothing monetary is worth you losing your life over. We don't want you to fight over somebody wanting your stuff. We want you to fight over somebody wanting you.
Okay, so what can we do? First of all, you have, and let's tell your website right now.
Sure. It's www.silverback-selfdefense.com.
Silverback-selfdefense.com. Okay, so with a few minutes, give us a few things that we can do as we're parking our car at the store, as we're going to meet a client, as we're doing those things. What should we carry with us?
Yes.
And what should we do other than be super aware and have our head on a swivel, right?
Yes. By all means, awareness is important. Being off your phone when you're in public is probably the number one thing that we try to teach people.
Let's repeat that.
Being off your phone in public. Your phone should not be in your hand while you're in a parking lot or while you're going to meet a client.
Focus.
Yes, exactly. If you're meeting a client, we always talk about parking in the street, never parking in a driveway so you can't get blocked in. Arrive early. Always unlock the front door before the client gets there, so that way you're not having a client standing behind you as you're trying to unlock a door. Always have a security check going before the client gets there to make sure. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients tell me they've showed up to a house that had a renter in it or somebody who was squatting in it, and they were getting ready to show it to their client, and they realized they can't show this house now. They have to do something else. So having a plan of what to do and how to do it to be safe. When you're in public, trying to park as close to the sidewalk as possible is one of the biggest things we teach, because most crimes in parking lots happen out in the parking lot. They don't happen close to the sidewalk because the person who's doing the crime wants to be able to have an escape route. They don't want to have to deal with pedestrians and traffic. So we try to always encourage. One of the big things is back into a parking space. Don't pull a nose in to where then you're forced to have to deal with somebody as you're trying to back up. You can have a wider view of what's going on. And these are common sense things that we think about as self-defense instructors that the average person doesn't think about.
And also, if you're going to meet a client, you need to know who they are, do a little bit of a check, and tell people you're going to be at that open house or whatever it is, right?
Well, and you're letting somebody in the office know what's going on. And we try to tell, if it's somebody who really isn't interested in buying a house and their mode is to actually do something wrong, you want to try to put up as many roadblocks before that happens as you possibly can and make it as hard. So getting somebody to give you a copy of their driver's license or give you their personal information before you're going to meet them is one way. They don't want people to know who they are, and that's a good stopping point for them.
Okay, so and again, you are covering all the things in self-defense as far as combat, martial arts, handguns, all these things. But as we're out there, and put guns aside, let's say we don't have a gun, we can't have a gun, what should we be carrying that's not a gun as we just navigate the world outside, going to businesses, meeting clients, and that? What should I have in my pocket?
So we have 5 levels of personal protection products. One, it would be a stabbing device on your keychain. So we used to tell people to put their car keys between their fingers. Well, people don't have car keys anymore. They have fobs. So we have stabbing devices. 2 would be pepper spray.
All right, let's stop on the stabbing device because that could be problematic. So you hate to say it, but if you had to stab somebody, and let's say the person's like, if someone's coming after me that's twice my size, what am I going to do?
Yeah. Pressure point. Yeah, exactly. A vulnerable spot. But the ones that we actually provide and show people how to use are non-lethal. So they're not pointed tips like a knife. So they're blunt and they're meant to cause discomfort to. And
then they go away. Hopefully.
They go hopefully.
All right. So number 1, stabbing device.
Yes. Number 2, pepper spray. Much more further distance. Easy to carry. Easy to conceal.
I've got that with me all the time.
Yep. Number 3 is a stun gun. So again, easy to conceal, easy to carry, very effective. Understanding how to use it. You're using it to be able to create space and get away. The
stun gun. I have one of those, Robert. And when I test it out in the house, it It's kind of alarming. Just without touching anything, my dogs go crazy. They leave the room. They hear that.
Mine too. I don't even have to set it off in my house. I can show my dogs what a box looks like, and they know what the box looks like, and they'll run away and hide.
So there you go. That's another
three.
item. That's
so
three.
Then when we get to 4, that is truly a knife. So then you have somebody who's going to carry a knife.
Yep.
Then you really are worried about the repercussions of what you're doing, how you're doing it. That becomes lethal. And then 5 is actually carrying a firearm. And so you go from non-lethal to lethal in those 5 steps. And every person, every individual has to decide what they're willing to carry. For me, at all times, there's 3 things on me. There's a stabbing device on my keychain. There's a pocket knife in my pocket. And there's a firearm on me where it's legal. No matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing. Now, could I use hand-to-hand? Yes, 100%.
That's right. You have that qualification with various martial art forms.
Exactly. But in a case where I'm going to have to use some type of protection as a tool, I always have options of what I'm going to be able to do and how I'm going to be able to do it. And then the other thing is to train. You have to train with it. No matter what it is, no matter what you're doing, you have to do some training. And that's where we come in. We provide you the tool. We provide you the training.
Me, I would stay away from the gun just because of the repercussions. Then all of a sudden you're protecting yourself, and then you have all these hassles if something happens. Now, but everybody has to choose.
Right.
The other thing is, what is the mindset we should be in? Because whatever we have, I mean, we could have all the artillery we want, but if we don't know how to use it, or if we're freaked out where we're not in our, what's the mindset? Or give us tips how to keep the mindset right. Should someone come and say, hey, I want your car, I want your wallet.
Right. And go back to that. If it's monetary, we want you to comply.
Take it.
Take it.
Go.
Even for me, if you came up to me and you wanted my wallet, you can have it. Pay my credit card bills because it's all my kids. So, but it's when a situation is life and death and they're trying to take you, that's where the training kicks in, where we're talking to them about understanding what to do and how to do it to make sure that what their goal is to make the person stop what they're doing and get away safe.
How can we coach someone here in like 3 seconds to where, should you be surprised, unnerved by an attacker or several attackers, how do we keep our cool so that we know to say, hey, here, take my wallet, take my car? How do we stay calm, if that's even possible?
It's not.
Okay.
There.
So forget it.
It's not. It's
do your best.
Well, and the way our training works is what we call forced repetition. So we want to put you in a situation and force you to go through that situation to where then you won't be freaked out in that situation.
By being prepared.
Correct.
There you go. So you have a ton of things that you can offer people. You're mobile. I didn't know that. So you'll go to an office. You'll go to someone's home. If they say, hey, Robert, give me the knife training. Give me the hand-to-hand. Give me all these tips. You do that.
Yep. I'll be in Sugar Land tomorrow at Stewart Title.
There you go.
In Sugar Land.
Well, so people, if you're in the real estate world, stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer because they have Robert doing classes periodically, so stay close again. But also, Robert, let's tell people the website and the menu. And if you have, I think it looks like before we close the segment, you want to tell people about some of the other things. Go ahead.
All right. So again, the website, www.silverback-selfdefense.com, 713-894-6105, Robert at silverback-selfdefense.com.
And the phone number?
713-894-6105.
Give us one tip as far as self-defense. Let's say we didn't have anything with us for some reason. I don't know. We just didn't have anything. We're in our bathing suit. I don't know. Someone come. Now that I say that, I haven't been in a bathing suit all year. So just saying that. So someone comes up to you like that. What do we do? Just run.
Yes. Create space.
Create space. There
Create
you go.
space.
There you go. Robert Weber, Silverback Self-Defense. The phone number again is
713-894-6105.
Thank you for being with us, Robert.
Thanks, Bill.
As we continue, no show about real estate would be complete without a real, live real estate professional. He is a realtor. His name is Albert Cantu, doing tremendous work with Compass Real Estate. Albert, welcome back to the show after many years.
Yes, thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate the opportunity again.
I think it must have been about 7 years since you were on.
7
and
or
about
9 yeah.
since I met you.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right.
And I want to tell the listeners, since that time, you have progressed and evolved in real estate in a tremendous way. You're now with Compass Real Estate. Let's tell people about Compass and a little bit about your journey to get there.
Sure. I've been in the industry now 20 years, 18 in real estate, and Compass, this is my first year, but it has been tremendous. The growth has been just tremendous to the ceiling. Been around successful agents and seeing the way they do things has really helped my business and evolved even more so.
In fact, one of the things I see as we're friends on Facebook, I see that, and I see a lot of real estate professionals on Facebook, but I see that you seem to be using Facebook in a I would think an effective way. It's showcasing your listings, and some of your listings, you have some beautiful listings, and also the way you present it on Facebook is very impressive.
Yes, Facebook is still an important tool. Instagram is key as well, but Facebook and I have been doing pretty well because my clients, we connect there a lot of times. So I try to find a platform that reaches my clients the best. And a lot of times Facebook and Instagram are the key ones for me.
Well, let's tell people, let's say if I'm a seller and I'm listing my property during these times right now, they're a little bit different than 6 months ago, sure. But as you're helping me market my home and help me sell a home, what are some of the things that you're doing as far as the technology, social media, things like that? What's happening when we're listing with you?
Well, one of the tools that successfully use with Compass is the 3-stage marketing tools. And what we do is we do private exclusive listings throughout Compass website to where Compass agents and Compass consumers can see listings before they actually hit the market. And so that's been a step that's changed the industry here in Houston. And examples of it is we're number one in River Oaks and number one in Bel Air this year. Compass, it's just been a tremendous big achievement for me.
Well, yeah, and since they emerged here in Houston, they're taking the market by storm, really.
They sure are, yes.
So you're probably feeling that excitement and getting pulled into the whirlwind and also getting you very enthusiastic about the market in a new way even.
In a new way, and it just brings new energy and new things and new ideas to the market.
So as we think about, here we are, December, right? Can you imagine? We're in December. We're looking at 2023. So as you have meetings, and I'm sure a company, a visionary company like Compass, you're out there, they're talking to all their people around the United States. But as they talk to you about the market trends, end of the year, just a few weeks, next year, what are some of the things that they're talking from on high as far as that big view of how to prepare for the market as a real estate professional and even us buyers and sellers that are out there?
Well, everything depends on marketing, and marketing is key. When we have listings, we tend to market to buyers that are still out there looking. And with the interest rate still going up, 6.5%, 7%, people are still buying properties. And the reason is people are still moving, life-changing things. And Houston is still a big market for people moving here. That's been still going on and still is.
So that's a good. And as far as people still moving here, give us a word about that, because through the years, people have been, including me. I wasn't here at one time, and then all of a sudden I got here decades ago. And what drew me was economic excitement, even way back. We're still offering that to people as far as companies moving in, individuals bringing their profession here. That's still happening.
It is. We used to be just oil and gas, and real estate used to just be right there with oil and gas up and down. But that's changed now. In the last 10 years, we see, entrepreneurs, young people moving to Houston, people from Virginia, New York, California, of course, all over just to come here. And people, when I talk to clients, they say, "Why do you move to Houston?" They say, the money, the opportunities here, more things are here.
Well, one of the other things I would add to that is when I got here way back, I won't mention when, but decades ago, and I noticed this just on visits to Houston, people were very friendly. They still are, and I think compared to certain other areas and even other countries, that friendliness serves us well and is one of the attractions other than the economic attractions.
Yes, it's still the Southern hospitality. We're still, still nice here. In the suburbs and in the city.
I hope it stays that way.
Exactly.
So as far as people coming out of the state, you see people from so you're helping, I would think, buyers from other places, right?
I would say 60-70% of the clients.
Really? So out of, let's say, the last 10 people that you've served for buyers, 50%, 60%?
I would say about,
really?
About 50.
So then how do they find you out of the 40,000 plus, and maybe, I don't know how many are active, maybe there's 25 active, but there's a bunch of people with how do they find you, Albert Cantu with Compass Real Estate?
Well, that's one thing about Compass. Their AI, their artificial intelligence, their way they position themselves in the industry helps out. Like, number one, people find me online that I normally didn't have 17, 16 years in my previous career. People find me online in California, in Florida, and they come down and they say, hey, we see you sell real estate in Interloop and also in Cypress, and we want to work with you. You're well knowledgeable and been in the industry for a very long time. So I have people literally fly down here, meet me, and close with me that I didn't have that before. And that was one thing they recognize me from Compass and see me online on Compass. And of course, the marketing that I do my own Google Ads, target marketing, the key marketing to look for those individuals looking for me.
Well, again, going back to when we met those 9 years or so, 8-9 years ago, I would think, and I could see one of the things is the drive. Even back then, I remember you had a certain drive to go forth, to learn as much as you can. So here you are, you've evolved in a tremendous way. Give us an idea. What is it that keeps you driven and hungry for that knowledge and trying to get to that next level? Because that's one of the things. I knew that right away.
Yeah.
And I've seen it through the years just watching you go along.
Well, it's still seeing the clients grow. I mean, I see clients that are coming out of college, moving here, then they get engaged and married, and then they move on and move into a house. And so, it's just the evolving market of real estate in my life and children and just growing. So it keeps me feeling fresh and young and being around individuals like that.
So of all the things, and through these many years, Albert, you could be doing a lot of different things in life. Mm-hmm. What is it you love about real estate, and what keeps you excited about it?
Lots of things. Real estate is the key front of a lot of people's minds. It's either good or bad, but most of the time it's good. Here in Houston, it's a very optimistic thing that we're growing with high net worth individuals moving here to Houston. The luxury market has been doing really well still here. So we see a lot of good things in the future.
Of course, that's one of the things I think with Compass. They have the reputation for serving all markets, but certainly the luxury market, they are big in that way.
Yes, sir. Yes, they are.
So, Albert, we got a couple minutes left. What else do you want people to know about what you're doing and that Albert Cantu difference? Because you have a certain style, and I think I could tell right now that's one of the things people like about working with you, whether they're buyers or sellers.
Yes, and I think it's just building that trust and confidence. I have clients I work with over 10, 15, 16 years, and they come back, and it's just the growing with our clients and making sure that we take care of them and they take care of us. It's just, you do good and you get good.
So as you are successful all these years, you're going forth, you're not slowing down, I know that. How are you planning from a mindset and a success standpoint to say, oh man, here we go. 2022 was great. You're looking at the 23. What's the mindset, and how are you preparing for that?
2023 looks great. And the reason I say that is that with the company I'm with now, Compass, with me growing with them and the tools that I have, it's just been the ceiling is at the top. And I think that it's just exciting with the resources that I have. My business has grown over 20-25% in the past year, and I think that's just going to continue to do.
And you know how to use those tools. Albert Cantu. Let's tell people how they can reach you.
Yes, you can reach me at 281-221-2990, or my email is at www.albertcantu.com. Again, my number is 281-221-2990.
That's right. Sounds like you said, 281-221-2990. Good to see you again, Albert.
Thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate it.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is once again, John Bramlett. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Bill, always a pleasure to be with you.
Well, here we are. Once again, Insurance Time is here to talk about insurance and to help the many listeners that are out there, whether they're in the real estate world or not.
Well, I think it's obviously it's important to us, and we feel like it's important for our listeners that they understand about being properly insured. And sometimes I think it's of value to kind of lift the curtain, if you will, and let our listeners understand a little bit about how insurance companies think and how they make decisions. So today I kind of wanted to visit about elements of an insurable risk.
That's a good one, John. Let's go.
Let's go. So most insurance companies and most insurance only covers pure risks, or those risks that embody most or all of the main elements of an insurable risk. And we'll talk about those elements as well as a pure risk. So to begin with, let's take a look at what a pure risk is versus a speculative risk. A pure risk, which is what most insurance covers, includes any uncertain situation where the opportunity of loss is present and the opportunity for financial gain is absent. So the key there is the opportunity for a loss is present and the opportunity for any financial gain is absent. Whereas a speculative risk are those that might produce a profit or a loss. So in an example of a speculative risk could be gambling. That if you are gambling, you have a chance to win, you have a chance to lose. A pure risk, you only have a chance to lose. So that's the first thing, that an insurance company is going to make sure that in most cases, that it's a pure risk. And then back in that definition, they talked about all or most of the elements of an insurable risk. And those elements of an insurable risk are due to chance, definiteness and measurability, statistical predictability, lack of catastrophic exposure, random selection, and large loss exposure. So those are the 6 elements that are present for an insurable risk. So when you hear the term due to chance, the prospect of an accidental loss is there. So there's a prospect of an accidental loss. The loss is unintended action. It's caused by an unintended action. It's unexpected and exact timing and impact. So there's a loss, it's unintended, it's unexpected, and what this does is protect against any intentional acts that somebody might do in order to cause a loss. So that's due to chance. The second one is definiteness and measurability. So the insured, that's you and me, we must be able to demonstrate a definite proof of loss. So, for example, if we had a wreck and we said that the damage of the car was $200, we would need to be able to show a bill, for example, that would be a definite measurable amount, or the insurance company would get a quote from a auto body shop to tell us what that payable amount, that damage would be. And it must be calculated and must be fully identified. So it's not something that's a guess or hearsay, but it's something that's very specific. So definiteness and measurability. The third is statistically predictable. Insurance, as I know that our listeners have figured out by now, is very statistics driven. So you must be able to estimate how often a loss might occur and the severity of that loss. So there are folks with the insurance companies that are working on a regular basis just to determine how often a loss might occur, and then what that severity might be. The next one they take a look at it is it's not catastrophic. So standard insurance does not guard against catastrophic perils or issues. So that's an example of why home insurance does not cover a flood and why you would need a specific flood insurance policy. But standard insurance does not guard against catastrophic perils. And in many cases, you'll see an exclusion in the policy of catastrophes that are listed among the core elements. So that's important to keep in mind. And then from an insurance perspective, they look at catastrophic risks two ways. So the first would be all or many of the risk groups or the policy holders are all exposed to the same event, like a hurricane. So, all or most of the policy holders are all exposed to the same event, like a hurricane. So we would be, those of us living in the greater Houston area would be part of a catastrophic risk because we're all exposed to that same event or potential event of a hurricane. The second would be unpredictability, the unpredictability of a large loss of value not anticipated by the insurer, the insurance company, or the insured, us. And a horrible example of this would be, the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001, that nobody could predict that. So those are the two different types of catastrophic risks. Then we look at randomly selected. All insurance is based on the laws of large numbers. So there must be a sufficient number of homogeneous exposures or the same characteristics to any specific event in order to make a reasonably prediction about the loss related to that event. So that kind of goes back and supports the not catastrophic, there just has to be enough numbers and enough data points for the insurance companies to make a reasonable prediction. And then that follow-up rule would be the large loss exposure. So the number of policyholders must also be large enough to encompass a statistically random sample of the overall population. So instead of just focusing on individuals that might, or most likely might provide a claim or make a claim, the insurance companies want to take a look at a larger universe that statistically covers the overall population. And then there's always going to be some things that, has it caused an economic hardship? So if an economic hardship hasn't been caused, there's probably really not a risk or a need for a claim. Is it commonly understood? Is it something that's happened that we all can relate to? And then economically feasible premium. The premium needs to be such that we all can reasonably afford it.
Well, you said it very well, John, to take a peek behind the curtain. And that's really what you have done here, because it's fascinating. You're talking about the mechanics, the way the machine works, the gears on the clock and whatever, but you're talking about how that works. And most of us don't think about it. I go back to what I've said many times. To be properly insured, you need to do more than, my insurance renewal came in. Hey, honey, did we pay the insurance renewal? It really is, if nothing else, people get is that to take notice of what policy you have. Do you have the right insurance? And also know that there are these many gears and things that are going on behind the curtain of the insurance company and how they work, because it really is fascinating as far as the risk and probability. As you mentioned, the law of large numbers. It's fascinating. And once again, we encourage people to be properly insured by listening to this information, digesting it, and tuning in every week, by the way, because you're here every week bringing forth stuff like this all the time.
Well, it is, and it's important that you have or at least we believe it's important that our listeners, whether you be an individual or a real estate driven business, or anybody for that matter, that you have an insurance advisor that you can rely on, that can,
Absolutely.
if you do want to understand the different types of risks, or if you do want to understand how an insurance company is going to go about making their decision whether they believe a claim is valid, and then how that process works out. You can learn a lot about that, going through your own insurance plans, and we've reviewed those on several occasions throughout the years. But you can also then work with an advisor to help you answer those questions so that you understand if there is a loss, how do I have to go about, proving it, and, that the fact that it needs to be something that's an accidental accident, and it needs to be something that's unintended and unexpected, that if it's a fraudulent situation, then it's not going to be covered, or the chances are that if it is speculative, that there's not going to be coverage, at least within a standard plan. So it's nice to be able to understand some of those issues, so how, as you said, the machine works, and ultimately, decisions are made so that it provides at least another couple of nuggets to help you determine if you are properly insured, and if so, congratulations, and if not, how do we get there?
It would be a good goal for the new year coming up to be properly insured for one and all. Before we close the segment, John, what else should we know?
Well, if you would like to be properly insured or discuss more about the elements of an insurable risk, please visit Stewart Insurance. You can reach any of our advisors, both on the personal line side, the family side, as well as the business side for real estate brokers, property managers, independent title and attorney agents at 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. You can call us at that number. You can reach us via email at stewartinsurance@stewart.com, or learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com.
Once again, the phone number is
866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett. Well, as we wind up the show, she is back, Pam Eastwald with Cornerstone Home Lending. Pam, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, here we are. Before we close the show, let's tell people what else you want them to know.
Cornerstone Home Lending is a Houston-based company. Our corporate offices are here on the Loop. We have several other offices in Houston. So even though we're a national company, we started here. We're your local lender.
Right here in Houston.
Right here in Houston, Texas.
And with more resources than ever, as you said in the beginning.
That's correct.
Because you bought a bank. One of the many reasons.
One of the many reasons. That's correct.
That is awesome. So we'll encourage people to be prepared. If you're even thinking about a home in 2023, call Pam.
Call Pam Eastwald, 713-829-2777, or you can email me at peastwald@houseloan.com.
And that's the Eastwald team, so that's even extra benefit for people.
That's correct.
The phone number again is?
713-829-2777.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, sir.
And here he is, Robert Weber, Silverback Self-Defense. So, again, we want to encourage everybody to be safe this time of year, all throughout the year. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your phones away so you know what's going on. And then here's Robert to tell us some more.
All right, so really quick, Bill, a couple of holiday safety tips for you guys. Be off your phone in public. Be aware, pay attention.
Hey, by the way, I'm going to add, be off your phone while you're driving, too.
Well, we would love that. We'd love that, but
okay,
at least in public.
Yeah.
Carry less stuff.
Carry less stuff.
Don't have a big purse. Don't have a big briefcase. You only need your driver's license, one card. Make yourself look like less of a target for somebody who's looking
Good point.
to steal.
Don't be a target. Yep.
Combine packages, especially if you're shopping like we're close to the Galleria, high-end stores. You want to put high-end store bags inside of low-end store bags.
There's
so
a tip.
You're not a target because people are looking for high-end stuff to steal. We don't want them to know you have high-end stuff. We don't want you to go to your car and put stuff in your car because people are watching cars. So keep everything with you until it's time to go. And then if you do and you're going somewhere, make sure that it's well hidden. Big thing right now, don't use public ATMs. There's a term in Houston for a crime called jugging, Jugging. We just posted something on our social media today. In 2022, that crime has gone up almost 40%, where someone's following you from your bank to your next location to rob you. And then we've already talked about everyone should carry some type of personal protection.
At least pepper spray. I think that's a great thing.
Something to equalize size, strength, and surprise.
And again, you have so many things. We could do a 5-hour show. You have a super menu. You're
Anytime
there to
you
help. People can go to your website, which is
www.silverback-selfdefense.com. www.silverback-selfdefense.com.
And your phone number is?
713-894-6105. 713-894-6105.
Be safe, everybody. And here he is, Albert Cantu, Compass Real Estate. Albert, as we close the show, what else should people know about what you're doing and Compass Real Estate?
We are doing private exclusive coming soon properties that get to the public beforehand. So if you want to get in touch with those, please contact me at albert.cantu@compass.com or at www.albert.cantu.com.
So it sounds like if someone's even looking at a property or an area where they want to buy a property or think about a property, you might have an idea of some that are on the way, sort of thing.
Correct. Like in West U, River Oaks, certain areas where the demand is there, we have access to those listings before they hit the HAR.
And your phone number, Albert, is?
281-221-2990. 281-221-2990.
All right. Well, thank you all. What a super show, everybody. Thank you for listening. I want to remind you, I don't know that I did at the beginning of the show, but you can see, of course, and hear the show simply by going to Stewart.com/radio anytime you want, anywhere in the world. That's right, Stewart.com/radio. You could see what's going on in the studio. You could see the guests. You can access shows for 2 years plus. Again, that's Stewart.com/radio. And of course, Stewart Insurance, simply go to StewartInsurance.com. Stewart Title, Stewart.com. We're there to help you. We want to be stewards of your real estate transaction. Simply reach out to us, find the closest office, and stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. Stewart.com/radio. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
By all means, awareness is important. Being off your phone when you're in public is probably the number one thing that we try to teach people.
Let's repeat that.
Being off your phone in public. Your phone should not be in your hand while you're in a parking lot or while you're going to meet a client.
When you think of markets, the basics of the market have not changed at all. As long as people are falling in love, getting married, buying a house, having kids, having more kids, buying another house, or unfortunately, they might split up and then they've got a house to sell and 2 more to buy. Or as long as these life events keep happening, there will always be real estate.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.